Hey guys, this is Tanner with Elite Automotive, and today we're going to be changing spark plugs on this 2019 Series Gray STI. Should be a good time. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's not that bad. A little bit of finesse, some common hand tools, we should be able to get it knocked out relatively quickly. So basically all we need to do is remove the intake, battery, and air pump, and then pull this harness out of the way, and that should give us enough access to get the job done. No need to lift the motor or anything crazy like that, so let's get after it. Okay, the basic removal is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just gonna start taking this stuff off. I'll time lapse it, and if anything needs further explanation, I'll slow it down and talk through it. So removing the cover off of this air pump, and then we should be able to get the hoses off and push them out of the way. This is just a tension fit on this little boot here. So you undo the two bolts and the clip, and you can just pull it out. And come on. There we go. Not as bad as it should be. Last time I did one of these, I think I removed the harness altogether and just pulled it aside, but it looks like I can get away with unclipping it and just floating it over, get the air pump out of the way with these 3 bolts, then we should have all the access we need down here. So these little tabs, it looks like they're designed for a flathead, but you can get them with your fingernails. See, it's coming out. And then connector for the AC compressor. Get this over here. Good. Okay, so that's loose. And then we can unclip this right here and get it out of the way so we can pull the air pump. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna undo this connector right here. This little tab on the front. Pull it out of the way. Now we can unbolt the air pump, get it out of here, and then get this tube out of the way. We'll be good. Yeah, so I think I just need to undo this clip here and we should be in business. This is exactly where locking pliers come in handy because I only have 2 hands. So I get these on there, have the clip loose, and start pulling on it. There we go. Not too bad, huh? Air pump's out. Okay, one last thing before we get to the fun part. There's this bolt that's holding the air pump tube on. We pull that off. Got all the access we need. It's a long bolt. All right. Good. Okay, now we're to the plugs. So what we do here is move this coil pack bolt and then rotate it 90 degrees and pull it out. Some people remove the connectors first, but from what I remember, you don't have to do that. So let's see how it goes. And it looks like somebody cooked here already. These are loose, and I took a peek on the other side, and one of them wasn't even in there, so hopefully everything else is good. Okay, bolts out, throw this aside. Now we're gonna rotate the coil, pull it out. Okay, so it just comes out like that. I don't even need to rotate this one. Okay. Coil pack is out, now we have access to the plug. So now for the fun part, hopefully uneventful, here's the secret sauce for an easy spark plug change on an EJ. It's basically the right combination of extension and ratchet. So 5/8 spark plug wrench, 3-inch extension, and a 3/8 drive ratchet. It should go right in there. The trick is you slide the socket into the cylinder head and get it on the plug first, like that. You can see it. Then you get the wrench in and break it free. Hopefully we don't have any surprises. This is where I usually hold my breath a little bit. Hoping somebody didn't give a little too much sauce last time. Oh, look at that. Right away. Easy. Now, finish it by hand. See what the plug looks like. All right, see if we can focus. There we go. Okay, so here are the new plugs, already unboxed, obviously, went with OEM NGKs. Interesting note, in 2019, when Subaru started using the Type RA block, they switched the spark plugs as well. In addition to the gap, so we'll run through gapping those right now and then we'll get them in. So the spec on these plugs is 19 to 23 thousandths. Two ways to gap the plugs, one of which most people are familiar with. One of these you get from the auto parts store, you basically insert it in the gap. Spin it till it stops, come on, and then it'll show the gap. And the bottom of the range is 20 thousandths, so these are all pretty much bottomed out already. Not a big fan of these, but if you do have one, don't spin it to gap because it'll grind the coating off. You want to pry it open or tap it closed, never spin to open the gap. So for the feeler gauge method, which I prefer, it has all these little shims with different thicknesses on there. You can't really see it in the camera, but basically what you do, so 19 to 23 thousandths. So I've got a 19 thousandths shim. I'm gonna see if it fits. It does, so we're gonna go to the next bigger one. 20, a little snug. Okay, it's probably at 20. See if we can fit a 21 in there, we can. 20 thousandths is the gap for this plug. That's within spec, so it's good. Plugs are all properly gapped, as verified with the feeler gauge. They're all spot on, and they usually are with the pre-gap plugs, but it's always good to check. You'd hate to just throw it in there hastily. It's out of spec and you get a misfire because you could have spent a few more minutes on it. So these are all good. Let's get them in the car and finish the job up. All right, so now we're gonna get the new plug floated in by hand, and then we will torque it. So this is kind of delicate. Make sure you catch the threads right. If something feels too tight, just stop and back it off. You don't want to pull the motor out because you were a little too eager. All right. Looks like it's all the way in. Okay, so there are two ways we can do this. You can torque to yield with a torque wrench, or you can torque to angle. NGK publishes specs for both. In an instance like this, I'm a big fan of using torque to angle instead because it's hard to get a wrench in there for one, and two, if something goes wrong and like you don't feel the wrench click or it's out of cal and you just send it home and break a plug off on the head, you've got to pull the motor out. This works every single time, hasn't failed me yet, so I'm gonna keep doing that, and if I've got like an inline 4 or something, maybe use a torque wrench, but even then, big fan of torque to angle. So all that said, torque to angle on this plug is half a turn after it contacts the base. So you pretty much get it snug by hand, get the wrench in there, and then just do half a turn, you're good. Super easy. So we're gonna get the first quarter turn in, like that. Back up the wrench, get the second quarter turn, and good. Yeah, that plugs in. Now we're gonna move on to the back plug and get the coil pack reinstalled. Your coil is out, just move it out of the way for now so we can access the plug. Same as the front, we're gonna sneak the socket in there and get a wrench on it and pull the plug out. Okay, good. There we go, nice. Now we can finish by hand. Okay. Next plug out, oop, there we go. Got it. All right, same for plug number 2. Oh no, not the light. Oh, come on. Got it. Take 2. Same thing, get it in there, half a turn, and it's good. Okay, so let's get a first quarter turn in there. A little under, so I'll probably take 3 swings. And a half swing. Good. All right, let's put the coil pack back in. Good. Snug this bolt down. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to get light. All right, there we go. So plug's installed, coil pack's installed, and tightening the bolt down. And we'll just get this a little over snug with the wrench. Good. All right. Here we go. All right. Now let's do it for the front coil pack. Come on. There we go. Let's tighten it down. Good. Home stretch now, same thing on the passenger side. Interesting thing, this bolt was already like halfway out. So I don't know if somebody's been here before or it rattled loose over 50-something thousand miles. Either way, we won't put it back the same way we found it. And for this one, if I recall, this is where you actually have to rotate the coil pack 90 to get it out. Well, that's hard to do it. Good view. Rotate it. Come on. Okay, so interesting series of events. As you guys saw in that last clip, I was kind of fighting to get the coil pack out, and I'm like, what's going on? There's not enough room, and there's definitely enough room. Like, something's wrong. You shouldn't have to lift the motor to do this. And I look, and the intercooler is kind of crooked. I don't know if you can see that. And I look further, the intercooler mounts were good. Turns out the whole motor's crooked, like torqued over that way. So I get under the car, and the motor mount like split in half and jacked above the bracket, effectively lifting the driver's side of the motor. So there's no room to get the spark plugs now. So now I have a fun side quest of replacing the motor mount, then doing the plugs as Subaru intended without lifting the motor. So stay tuned. All right, one last thing we're gonna get under there. Take a look. It should be fun. I'll show you guys what I'm freaking dealing with here. Oh, if I didn't hit that. Ah, we're good. Okay, let's see. Not sure how well this shows up with the lighting down here, but there you go. So as you can see, the motor mount split in two, and then this bracket's on the wrong side. It actually like came around and jacked the motor, and then this is why it's like lifted up, giving me a little more room on this side and a lot less room on that side. So we're gonna fix this and finish the job. And we're back. As you can see, the curve stop side quest is complete. Intercooler straight, motor straight. I might post that later, I don't know, see how good it is, but time to finish the spark plugs. Here we go. Okay, to pick up where we left off, both of the coil pack bolts are loose, so they can swing out of the way. Throw the plugs in. Should be smooth sailing, fingers crossed, so let's do it. All right, adjusted the camera so we can see a little better. I'm gonna start with the rear coil pack. So sometimes you have to rotate these to get them out. Not always. This one, 90 degrees on that one to get it out. And yeah, There we go, that one's loose too. Good enough. So same as the other side, we're gonna float the spark plug wrench on there. Come on, there we go. Break it loose, pull the plug, and we'll use this wrench. All right. Good. Always worried one of these is gonna break, especially, you know, if I wasn't the first one in here. Finish it by hand. And got it. Doesn't look too bad. New plug, ready to go in. Same as before, careful when you get the thread started. If anything feels wrong, just back it out, because these are not easy to access if you cross thread one or strip it or something like that. But it's going in just fine. Should be it. All right, so once again, torque to angle, 180 degrees after it contacts the base, which I got it there by hand. So we're gonna have to do 290s on this side. Maybe 3 turns. All right, that's good. Wrench off, plug wrench out, done. All right, let's do it again on the back side. Oh, I dropped the light. That's all right. All right, on the spark plug. Now let's take it out. All right, last plug's out. I will note that is the worst one, the passenger rear plug. Still doable without lifting the motor though. So there we go. All right, last plug. I'm using a wobble extension to get this one in because it is tight with that 3-inch extension, but this should get us done. There we go. And we're started. You know the drill, half a turn after contacting the base. Sneak the wrench in there. Just the first little bit. Second. There we go. So let's float the coil packs back in, tighten them down. That one's on there. All right, that's good. Now let's do the rear coil. Kind of fun to get this in here. Now, don't forget, I didn't mention when I took it off, because it was amidst the whole motor mount situation, but there's a bracket that goes under the head of this rear coil bolt, just like that. Make sure you get that in there. Now we gotta get a wrench in there, only if I had more hands. Now with some crafty editing, it is done. See, that wasn't so bad. About 20 minutes, everything's back in there. Okay, so that's it for the day. A bit more exciting than I'd anticipated, but that was mostly the motor mounts throwing us a curveball. Otherwise, the spark plugs weren't too bad. So this is generally a 60,000 mile service on the factory tune anyway. So if you've got a bunch of mods and a tune, definitely do it sooner. Okay, as always, I do a lot of interesting stuff from routine maintenance, modifications, engine rebuilds, whatever, a lot of stuff going on. So if that's something that interests you, stick around. Should be a good time.